Hey folks, this is Matt once again, coming at you with review of drinking some more Crystal Pepsi of The Last Stand, which came out with Arnold Schwarzenegger. The newest film, his return to starring in films, about 10 years. Directed by I think Kim Ji-woon, believe is the name of the director. He's done stuff like I Saw the Devil and The Good, the Bad, and the Weird. And wasn't a fan of The Good, the Bad, and the Weird, but I haven't seen I Saw the Devil. And I'll be honest, I liked the film. I enjoyed the flick. Didn't love the film. I can understand why my friends like Michael and say they don't love the film. I don't love the film. I don't think it's one of Arnold's best films. But at the same time, I liked it. I don't think it deserved the bomb that it became. I mean, it debuted at number 10, number 9, number 10, and people are like, "Well, what about Mama?" And this, I don't. First, I don't care about Mama, and the movie Mama, and second, at number 10, number 9, number 10, debuting at number 10, it's just really a shame because Lionsgate really fucked up. They fucked up Rambo 4 because they released that in January and it didn't make that much money. And the money it did make was because of name recognition of Rambo. Thankfully, made money overseas, but could have been a bigger hit. Lionsgate fucked that up. Lionsgate fucked up Dread 3D. And now Lionsgate fucks up another film, which I think is it's a good flick. So, basically, like you see in the trailers, you have Forrest Whitaker's the FBI guy, and they have this guy they're transporting, extravagant escape. Basically, the bad guy gets into this really fast car as Forrest Whitaker goes, psychopath, that Batmobile. Really super fast car, like Corvette or something, and goes straight for the border. And he has to go through this little small town where Arnold is the sheriff. And as for the film itself, the marketing I was saying is really piss poor because like they put Johnny Knoxville a lot. He's not in the film that much. He's in the film at the very beginning and then at the end. But they really put him up in the posters. I don't know why. I think that was a really stupid decision. And the thing with this film, I can see why some people would say it's a disappointment because it's not as centered on Arnold as I think it could have or maybe should have been. I know Liam Neeson was at first going to star in this, but then that didn't work out, so they got Arnold. Basically, it starts off with it introduces the characters, like introduces Arnold sheriff character who was a guy in L.A. dealing with narcotics. Something happened. He became the sheriff here. Decided to move away from the city. And then we're introduced to the deputies. Like you have Luis Guzman. You have one guy who is in jail for being a drunk, but you get the idea that he knows Arnold, had worked with them. You have a female deputy. You have this young guy who's a deputy who you pretty much know he's going to die because he wants to get out. And you're introduced to him, and it's a time where there's a big football game, so there's not going to be tons of people in town. But Arnold, it's his day off, and he wants to enjoy it. You have this asshole mayor, or I don't know what it is, like, hey, move this car. Arnold's like, it's a fire hazard, and this guy's like, oh, I don't care, being a dick. And then we're introduced to Johnny Knoxville's character because that's when you have Luis Guzman, this young guy. They're trying to fire this gun, this big fucking gun, and the young deputy fires it and it smacks back and breaks his nose, like smashes his nose. And Arnold comes in, talks a little shit, like, give me that damn gun, let me fire it before I change my mind, and fires it. You actually have Little World by Harry Dean Stanton. He's a farmer. And basically what's going on is as the main bad guy is using this really super fast car to get to this town, he has other bad guys there already in town because what they're trying to do is build this little bridge through this little thing so that instead of the bad guy going through all these border patrol cops and police and stuff. He'll go through the back way into this through this small dinky town. So you have other bad guys like Peter Stormare and such there already. And I think what it is that for the first half of the film, it's pretty much build up. It's build up of introducing Arnold's character, but mainly it's Forrest Whitaker and the FBI, and you have a couple action scenes where the bad guy, which to me is a very generic bad guy, kind of piss poor bad guy in my opinion. Of course, this comes from a guy who loves Die Hard 4 and that has a piss poor bad guy. But I see the bad guy in this I thought was really piss poor. Very lame, generic, forgettable bad guy. Nothing much to him. His car has more personality than the guy himself. And I will say the director knows what he's doing in shooting. Shooting, you really get a sense of speed with the car moving back and forth, plowing through using his speed. And I was talking about Harry Dean Stanton, like Harry Dean Stanton's on a car, and all of a sudden he gets fucking shot and killed, and like, ooh, shit fashion, by Pierce Stormare's goons. And mostly, again, the first half is, the bad guy going through with his car, and the FBI guy is trying to get to them, and you have that scene in the trailer with the barricade smashing through. And I don't know if it's CGI, like the mist stuff. It doesn't look like CGI. Like when I see blood mist, uh, it just, to me, it doesn't look like CGI blood. I know some people said it does, but I've seen films where, like, hell, Kill Bill. Some of the scenes in Kill Bill when people get killed, you see like a mist effect. Not all the time, but sometimes you see this mist effect. So I don't think that was CGI. I think that was practical. It's just for some reason they have a certain way of doing blood squibs that sometimes it's like a mist effect. But it didn't look. At least in my eyes, it didn't look computer generated. To me, it looked like a lot of practical. And I'll be honest, I thought a lot of the blood here looked practical in my eyes. This is my eyes, though. Just my eyes. But you have that scene in the trailer where a couple people go in and they go through this barricade. You have another scene where the bad guy, you see a helicopter chasing him, and he shuts all the lights, and I guess he's kind of has infrared, like in his car, like he can look in a screen and drive through, and he's able to lose the helicopter. And along this time, Arnold and his group, they find out about Harry Dean Stanton's been killed, and they have to set something up, figure out what's going on. And again, it's a lot of build-up, which, kind of like a Western, it's a build-up. Which, again, on one hand, it didn't bother me tremendously because I thought the car scenes were well shot. And if the payoff is worth it, then I'm fine with the build-up. It was great to see Arnold back again. I did not mind the score. It wasn't as silly as the trailers make it out to be. I mean, there's still some humor to it, still some funny stuff to the film, sense of humor to the film. But at the same time, it's not as goofy to me as the trailers made it seem out to be. But at the same time, if you're going and expecting this big triumphant return of Arnold, it's kind of like, okay, where's Arnold? It's okay, there he is for a little bit. And in the first half of the film, Arnold's a little bit too much in the background. It's a little too much of the FBI in this car, super fast car, that makes me think of an 80s movie, the super fast car. I don't know why it just does. But it's Black Moon Rising or something. But it's really well shot, well executed. No shaky cam that I saw, at least to me. I thought the director, really did a good job filming it. And then, to be the reason, so that's why I don't love the film, because I think it's a little too much building up. But I like the second half of the film, the 45-minute mark. Two of his deputies are getting shot by Pierce Stormare and his goons, and there's fucking Arnold coming in. He fucking runs a guy over, gets a shotgun, shoots one in the chest, shoots one in the fucking head, which I loved. And then he gets his deputies, says, I'm not going to let that guy come through our town without a fight. And they go see Knoxville. And I thought Johnny Knoxville, I'm a fan of Johnny Knoxville. I like Jackass. I like his stuff. I liked him in Walking Tall. I actually did. So I'm a fan of Johnny Knoxville. I was surprised that he's in it not too much. I mean, he's in it for the last, in chunks in the last 30, 40 minutes of the movie, and then at the very beginning. And they set up, and of course, you have the scene of Louis Guzman with the Conan sword. He doesn't use the sword, but you see him holding it, like in the trailer. And they set it up, and then pretty much the last half hour or so, it's full on showdown. And it's not Arnold by himself, it's Arnold using his other deputies as well as himself, taking out these guys. Like Luis Guzman has a good moment where he's being shot at and this car gets blown up and flips over. Then Luis Guzman gets his hat, he comes out with a fucking Tommy gun. Then you have that scene with the fucking school bus comes in and goes, and Arnold has the 50 caliber water machine gun. Then Arnold's trying to get for cover, and that's where you get, I feel old. And there's a guy up top, and he chases off and pushes the guy off, shoots the guy as he's falling down, falls down, and he just, motherfucker, and walks off. And then, of course, you have that scene where Johnny Knoxville shoots a flare at a guy, and he shoots the guy. The reason he blows up, he has, like, shotgun shells, the bad guy, so they spark, and then it blows up, which I thought was, that I could tell was a little bit CGI, but I was fine with that. I've seen much, much worse. And I'm like, okay, it's definitely bloody. And the other deputies are dealing with stuff, like you have the guy who's drunk, he wants to help. And then the female deputy, they both are shooting at this guy, and it's like in the stairway, and the one guy comes in and shoots the shaft. And Arnold has a stand down with Peter Stormare. Like, first off, he's underneath the school bus. Arnold shoots the fucking ear off Peter Stormare. Boom. He's like, who are you? I'm the sheriff. And blows a hole right through fucking Peter Stormare's head. Like, through a hole, and in the back, it's like big blood spray. I'm like, oh, yeah, It was like, it was fun to watch that. So there's not tons of Arnold doing stuff, but granted, he is old. And I was fine with that. I was fine with that. I don't know why, it reminded me a little bit of like when Stallone and Copland, although I prefer Copland to this, but when Stallone finally is able to do something, alright, finally Arnold, shoots the motherfucker in the head, has a 50 caliber, then he sees the bad guy, and what's funny is Arnold actually takes the car. Remember the beginning, the asshole mayor takes that guy's car, and you have a really good chase in a cornfield where Arnold turns and his car gets put on the bad guy's car, and Arnold's shooting at him, and they both hit like this combine. Really well done chase, well filmed, really cool chase scene. And then you have that scene where on the bridge where Arnold says, "You fucked up my day off." You have a little bit of fight, and more like a grabbing fight, sort of grappling, and Arnold's like body slamming the guy, gets on top, like gets a boom, like almost like a suplex the guy, and finally slams the bad guy on the steel post on the guy's back, and you think, oh, okay, that's over, but the bad guy's like knifing Arnold's legs and punching Arnold, and Arnold beats the shit out of him, and actually takes the guy's knife and stabs it on his own leg, beats the fuck out of him. Then ties the bad guy to the back of his car, and like Arnold's driving the asshole mayor, whatever, his car, and the top's been cut off, and Arnold's driving, and the bad guy's like tied to the back. And Arnold like sees the mayor and says, "Next time, don't park in the fire zone, schmuck." And I had fun. I think the ending really helps. I had a lot of fun with the third act, but I think the problem is, it should have been more Arnold's film. He should have been given more to do in the first half. I think there's a little bit too much build-up of... I watched the Cinema Snob review, and he said best, it's almost like this film is more of a commercial for that car and less about the return of Arnold, which I think was a mistake. But I thought the humor worked in the film, but at the same time, it was still, I think, much serious than like Expendables 2, for instance. I just had a more satisfying time. I would definitely pick this up on DVD. And, you know, as a good stepping stone, Arnold, like if this is his first comeback, it's a good stepping. I still love to see a big, over the top, expensive action movie with Arnold. But I like this film. You know, granted, the first half's a little bit too slow, but the second half I enjoyed. So I like the film. By the way, thanks for watching, and take care.